Also in Luxembourg, 1990. A neighbor calls the police about a strange, constant noise next door. Not screaming, not a fight, just the steady whir of a machine running late into the night. Officers arrive expecting a nuisance complaint. Instead, they find a money-counting machine and the paper trail of a fortune. By the time this apartment is fully searched, investigators have uncovered a scheme worth $36 million, and a system built to make drug money look like clean, ordinary wealth. A Harvard-educated Colombian economist moved that money in and out of banks and companies to make it appear legitimate. He calls his own laundering method by a strange nickname, one that sounds more like a business strategy than a crime. By the end of this story, that method will have opened more than 100 accounts in 68 banks across 9 countries. One noisy machine, one neighbor's phone call, that's all it takes to start unraveling all of it. Meet Franklin Jurado. Colombian, in his early 30s, educated at Harvard on 2 separate degrees. He's not a cartel enforcer. He's not a trafficker. He's a financial mind, fluent in 5 languages, trained in economics and international finance. Before any of this, he'd helped establish the Cali Stock Exchange, legitimate work, the kind that builds a real career. He's described by prosecutors as a Harvard-educated financial wizard, exactly the profile no bank teller or regulator expects to be laundering drug money. In the mid-1980s, he works as a researcher on drug policy, producing a well-documented portrait of the drug market for just $8 an hour. Then, in 1987, a lieutenant for Cali cartel boss Jose Santa Cruz Londoño comes calling with a different kind of job offer. He's hired to purify $36 million, money already sitting in shaky Panamanian banks, exposed and traceable. The want here isn't debt or desperation. It's a rare skill set, aimed at the one industry willing to pay anything for it. The target isn't a building or a vault. It's the money itself. $36 million in cocaine profits sitting in Panama. Panama was supposed to be the safe harbor. In 1985, authorities discovered the Cali cartel's own bank there had no real customers, just a house with a table for counting cash. Panama froze $28 million in assets tied directly to the traffickers. So the cartel needs somewhere the money can look ordinary, insured, verified, and boringly legitimate. That's Europe's banking system. Different countries, different currencies, different regulators who rarely compare notes with each other. Each bank believes it's simply holding funds for a private client. None of them see the full picture forming across borders. A drug cartel's fortune should be impossible to hide inside some of the world's most regulated financial institutions. Jurado is about to prove otherwise. Edgar Garcia, a Santa Cruz lieutenant, brings the cartel connections and oversight. Between 1987 and 1990, tens of millions of dollars are smuggled out of the United States and deposited into Panamanian banks. From there, the money moves by wire transfer and check into European bank accounts held in Colombian names. The mechanism runs in phases. Each transfer makes the cash look cleaner, while the actual trail underneath grows harder to follow. Accounts open under the names of Santa Cruz's mistresses and relatives, and others under invented European-sounding names. The next step would move funds again into accounts held by local residents, then into local business accounts entirely. Jurado calls the whole system Kennedyification, a private joke about turning dirty fortune respectable, generation by generation. The flaw sits in Jurado's own apartment in Luxembourg, where he keeps the physical machinery of the operation running around the clock. Through 1988 and 1989, the money moves constantly, Panama to Europe, account to account, currency to currency. Jurado travels extensively, opening accounts personally across multiple countries, each one a fresh layer of distance from Colombia. In 3 years, he opens accounts in 9 countries: Austria, Denmark, the United Kingdom, France, Germany, Hungary, Italy, Luxembourg, and Monaco. At one point, a Monaco bank's own internal computer system briefly malfunctions, flagging odd account activity before quietly resolving itself. Nobody outside the network notices. The transfers continue. By 1990, Roughly $36 million has passed through this network, some of it already reaching its final, sanctified form, ready to fund legitimate businesses back home. Had every phase completed, the money would have funded restaurants, construction firms, pharmaceutical companies, and real estate. All clean, all untraceable, back to cocaine. The system is working exactly as designed. Then a neighbor in Luxembourg picks up the phone about a noisy machine next door. The endless noise from that money-counting machine in Jurado's Luxembourg house is what first draws police attention. Empowered by new anti-laundering laws, Luxembourg police begin a wiretap in April 1990. By June 1990, Luxembourg authorities have arrested both Jurado and Garcia. This is where the flaw from Section 4 pays off. Jurado kept the physical infrastructure of his own scheme in his home, running loud enough for a stranger to notice. Records seized from Jurado's apartment reveal an entire network of Panamanian and European accounts, along with a computer study detailing the laundering procedures themselves. A second thread opens here too. The DEA soon identifies one of the account holders as Santa Cruz Londoño's own father-in-law, pulling the cartel's own family straight into the case file. The system built to disguise a fortune leaves behind exactly what a courtroom needs: receipts, wiretaps, and a paper trail with names on every line. Jurado and Garcia stand trial in Luxembourg between September 1991 and January 1992, under the country's 1989 money laundering law. In April 1992, both are convicted of laundering $36 million through 135 accounts across 68 European banks. Because Luxembourg's sentences are relatively short, and the country couldn't seize the proceeds, U.S. prosecutors build their own separate case. In 1992, after a 10-week civil trial, Brooklyn federal prosecutors seize roughly $12 million tied to Santa Cruz Londoño. Jurado and Garcia are extradited to the United States in 1994. In April 1996, Jurado pleads guilty in a New York federal court to a single count of money laundering and is sentenced to 7.5 years in prison. Santa Cruz Londoño himself never faces this courtroom. He escapes a Bogotá prison in January 1996 and is shot dead by police in Medellin just weeks later, in March 1996. Roughly $36 million tied to Santa Cruz Londoño's fortune is ultimately recovered across 9 countries: Austria, Denmark, England, France, Germany, Hungary, Italy, Luxembourg, and Monaco. Jurado serves his sentence in the United States before eventually being released, his exact whereabouts since then not publicly confirmed. Santa Cruz Londoño doesn't live to see any of the money he built. Killed in the street months after Jurado's own case had already exposed how the fortune moved. The Cali cartel itself collapses within a few years, its top leaders arrested or dead, its finances no longer anyone's to launder. A machine hums too loudly in an apartment in Luxembourg, and a stranger picks up the phone. That's all a $36 million fortune, laundered through 9 countries, ultimately needed to come undone. He laundered $800 million through a single bank, and almost nobody noticed. His name was Wachovia, one of America's biggest banks. Mexican drug cartels needed to clean their cash. Wachovia let them. For years, cartels wired money through Wachovia. No questions asked, $378 billion moved through the bank from Mexican exchange houses. Some of that money bought planes. The planes carried cocaine into the U.S. Federal investigators finally caught on. They found the trail led straight to Wachovia's vaults. In 2010, Wachovia admitted it. They paid a $160 million fine, and the craziest part? Not one single person went to jail. So here's the question. If a bank can launder cartel money and walk away free, who's really running the show?
We need to go now!